Yeah, well, so I think that economics is a great discipline for an undergraduate degree, right? Because it allows you to kind of ask questions about the real world, and it allows you to ask those questions using a variety of tools that you can learn through undergraduate studies in economics, right? In particular, you can think about asking questions using just mathematics or theory, or using data and statistics, right? And so think about this question about whether subsidized daycare increased the employment rates of mothers with young children, right? So you can think about people's preferences, think about the budget constraints that they face, and come up with a theoretical answer to that question, right? That we've made one option cheaper, we should expect people at the margin to opt in to daycare and opt into the labor market. And then we can also think about answering this question statistically, where we can collect data from people who were eligible for the subsidy and people who were not, and groups where the subsidy existed and groups where it didn't, and come up with some sort of statistical answer to that question. Right? And if we're lucky, these answers agree with one another, right? And we're happy. And sometimes these answers disagree with one another, and then we have to think harder about this problem, right? Because there's a chance that one of these answers are wrong, or both of these answers are wrong, and so then you can kind of question the modeling assumptions you made to come up with your theoretical answer, or the statistical assumptions you made to come up with the statistical answer. And that kind of opens up a rabbit hole that you can spend, well, a decade or more trying to answer. Right? And so it's great to have these tools available for yourselves, because then you can answer these questions that you might be interested in, even when you read things in the newspaper or see policies proposed during an election about whether this is or isn't a good idea. And you can do this without spending years reading things that people have written about this topic decades ago. You can just sort of go out and collect data and answer this question yourself, or just see recent papers where other people have done that data collection or done those modeling decisions to try and answer these questions. Right? And so it really kind of helps you get a good understanding on how things are likely to work out in reality, and allow you to be sort of specific about what assumptions you're making on how people will react to different incentives. And so I find it sort of a helpful way to think about just everyday life and public policy.